¿Cuál crees tú que es la característica principal de esta nueva generación de guitarristas a la que tú perteneces?
Bueno, pues en principio todos son fallos de la nueva generación, ¿no? Porque intentamos buscar cosas nuevas, por lo tanto fallamos todos.
Toda la prima, ¿no?
All right. What's up, YouTube? This is Ricky T, CFG LA.
Hey, Ricky T. What's up, Ricky T? What's up, CFG Studio?
What's going on, Evans? So today we have a very important member of the CFG Familia. We have Mr. EVANS BIA right here. He's been a part of the fam for a very long time, even more time than me. So this guy's really cool. He's from Africa, Mozambique. He's from Mozambique.
Mozambique.
So Evans, man, if you can say just a bit about yourself.
Hey, Ricky T, thank you for inviting me to talk a bit more about, CFG. Yes, as you mentioned, I've been with CFG for a long time. Even I wasn't aware that I was like for so long. I mean, this year when we were being in Malaga, I started asking and thinking how long. So it's like maybe 10 years, I think. Yeah, around 10 years, something like that, 8 or 9 years. So yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've been in CFG.
Yeah, cool. So what turned you on to flamenco? Like, why do you like flamenco? Let's
I mean, yeah, this has been a long time passion, that thing that's just like ingrained in you. It's like there's nothing you can do. It's so ingrained in me. Like, damn. So what happened is I long time ago, like maybe 15 years or maybe 13 years or so, something like that. I had some friends, who played guitar, and I always, loved music in general. So I started. I was going to my friend's house. He had this guitar. I listened. I'm like, we should open like a band. And but in my mind, I wanted to play like drums. I was always saying, I'm gonna play drums in this. I love drums. I want drums.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I think it was a special date. I don't think it was my birthday, but for some reason, my father decided to give me a guitar as a gift. So I'm like, okay, I wanted the drums, but okay, fine. Like, okay, here you go. It's cool. I mean, I think I was learning to play a bit with my friend. So I started learning like rock songs, like Stairway to Heaven, Stairway to Heaven. Very beautiful song. So that was one of the first songs I learned, doing small arpeggios. So yeah, I started practicing with my guitar, and slowly I completely forgot about drums. I started like loving guitar. I was practicing more, learning more. So in very short time, I was able to play like the basic stuff, rhythm, singing. So I went to parties with my friend. All of a sudden, the guitar became like my best friend. Everywhere I went, I was there with the guitar. So the guys, I was like a walking CD or like a radio. I don't know. The guys, when they wanted to sing, they just say, "Hey, Evans, play this song." I was like, "Okay, yeah." They were like, you can play. Okay, play this song. I was playing. So I literally could play like these popular songs. I was playing that and singing with the guys, and I loved that. So that's how I started with the guitar. But at some point, like because I also developed good ear skills. So I all this song I was learning by myself. Like I learned the basics, the chords and that, and I started listening because I was so like hungry. I wanted to learn more and more songs. Every time I listened to a different song, like something more complex than just rhythm, I'm like, oh, this song, I'm gonna catch it. So I downloaded it, listen, and catch it. So that's how. So at some point, I learned like literally so many popular songs that it was boring. Like, okay, I know how to play this. This is so boring for me. What am I gonna play now?
Yeah.
That's when I started investigating more about classical. I was like, okay, maybe the if I want to learn something higher level, let me try classical music.
Yeah.
So I went like on YouTube and whatever, internet, downloaded a lot of classical songs and started listening and started catching them by ear, right? So in this process, all of a sudden, some days is when I watched a flamenco video. It was both, I'm not sure who was first, but it was like Paco de Lucia and Vicente Amigo. When I saw their videos, I was like, holy shit, what the fuck? That's it. This is what I want. That's it. No more classical guitar. This is what I want. At that moment, I was like 100% certain, you know?
Nice.
This is exactly what I've been looking for. I'm like, damn, okay, I'm playing this. So that's how it started. And from there, I started the same way I was learning classical songs. I started learning flamenco and yeah, basically flamenco. But that was such a bad way to begin. I mean, because you think you can learn everything by yourself,
Yeah.
but damn, I was in for such a bad time. My God.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. So, I mean, I had a similar, situation. Like, I always learn stuff by myself. I'm always like studying. I'm a big nerd, right? Studying.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I mean, I know you're a small genius, little Einstein. I know that.
But no, with certain things you still need like help, right? You still need to be taught
For
certain things.
sure.
It's like what we always say, right? You got to have tools. Like, you got to get the tools. Once you have the tools, then you can go off and do your own thing, right? Like yeah. I was gonna talk about your superpowers. Like in my opinion, bro, your superpowers are definitely your ear and your rhythm and your picado. Like Evans.
Rhythm. Okay.
Save that for later.
Bro, you have to edit this. Negro. Esse cara é de África. Eu sabia, cara de África.
Bom picado, né? Bom picado mesmo.
Okay.
But so getting back to it, like how you say, I think that was a very important point where you have to have some type of help by somebody, right?
Yeah,
So
if there was,
talk a bit
when I
about like
looked,
how did like the maestro, like how did you find him, and like how did he kind of teach you,
exactly.
set you straight?
Yeah, so if there's one big lesson for me in all this 10 years journey learning flamenco, this is like my biggest takeaway. If you're watching this interview, don't do this by yourself. Don't even think about it. You might even be good. I mean, I was good. I'm pretty sure you were good.
Yeah,
But it's the biggest mistake for you to try and learn flamenco on your own. Hey, the biggest, because it's so different. The techniques are completely different,
yeah,
and it's not intuitive. It's not something intuitive. You can listen the songs, and in my head, I know thousands of songs, and I many songs I'm starting to play now. I knew how to play them like 5 years ago. I knew many songs because I heard and caught so many songs, but I couldn't execute them because of the technique, because I did not have the proper weight. So I literally, when I started learning flamenco, I was like, oh my God, this is what I want. That's it. Ah, I literally closed myself at home for like 2 years or something like, or 1 year. I rarely went out. I was like literally listening to the songs and playing picado. And just for you to imagine, I was even playing picado, the tirando, like,
uh-huh.
you know what tirando, the tirando way, because I did not know that you had to pick the string, because there's a huge difference in like the way you do arpeggio for pop songs or even classical, and the way you do picado in flamenco. You pick the strings,
Yeah,
but I was not aware of this because I was just listening and thought, okay, I know the chords. I'm gonna play it.
yeah,
And so I was doing like exercises, hours and hours, man, hours and hours doing it wrong, doing, and I kind of had a fast. It was fast, but it was like not proper. It was very bad. It was just fast, but was not proper. So from there, I was like, okay, there's gotta be. I'm obviously not playing this by myself. I'm like, after 1 year or even more, I was like, this is not working.
Yeah.
So I gotta get some help. And at that point, I remember I went to Spain, to Sevilla. This was my first time in Spain. That was 10 years ago, man. 10 years ago. I went to Spain, and so I had classes there for 1 week. I bought a flamenco guitar. I came back to Mozambique, and it was eye-opening for me. Like, wow, this short amount of lessons was very good for me. But at the same time, I realized later that it was nothing. I mean, if you're going to get help for 1 week, that's basically useless, to be honest. So that's when I came back with those things. I went again by myself, thinking, okay, I got these small tips. Now I'm going to do by myself because I'm very stubborn. I'm so stubborn. My God, that terrible. So I went again on my own, but I was struggle. I'm like, fuck, this is not working.
Yeah.
So that's when I started searching on the internet. And another problem, many guys, you hear this teacher says one thing, the other guy says. So I was confused. I was like, damn, this is such a headache.
Yeah.
And I think I learned the picado, this about the picado, I learned in Spain the first time. Like, oh, you have to pick the string. I'm like, oh, god damn it, I was doing it so wrong. That's the first time. But yeah, I was struggling. So I got so confused at that point. And that's when I saw Ruben explaining, the position, the falling position, and how do you place the hand, from where the string, blah, 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 so in details, like no one else explained. So he really went into details. So I was like, okay, damn, I definitely need help. So that's when I decided to do first Skype lessons.
Yeah.
And then I booked a lesson with Ruben. And so the first lesson for me was like game changing for me. It was like switch for me. I was going in that direction. I started going in that direction just with the first lesson, and the exercise he gave me, the correction he made, and he gave me scales, he gave me exercises. So I started practicing correctly from then, and it helped me. It helped me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll just let everybody in slightly on the secret, on the inside joke that we have. So when I first even learned about Evans, the maestro sent me a video, right? He was teaching me about picado. He's like, you got to get your picado like better. You got to get it faster. You have to do this. You have to do that, right? He's basically like teaching me. So he sends me videos like that. That is one of videos to each other. Like the teacher, we always have to send videos, right? We always have to record ourselves. But it's fun competition because it's like then Ruben sends the videos to everybody. So he sent me a video of Evans.
Yeah.
Evans is sitting there, and I'm like, man, what is Chicago?
Yeah.
Chicago. Beats per minute. And he did all this because the major scales, minor harmonic,
Yeah, man.
whole tone, maybe the double diminished. I think the only thing that was missing was Scriabin. And I think it was only because we weren't doing Scriabin then, right? But it was like a long video just all Picado. So that was my introduction to Evans, Picado.
Yeah.
Straight, nonstop, just flying, man. So, it just goes to show that, he was able to get to that speed by doing exactly what the maestro says, right? Here at CFG, like we have processes, right? We can get you to where you want to go. Like what he's basically saying is his initial interest was, picado. I don't want to say it was entirely picado, but picado was that like one thing that
he was driving that grabbed my attention.
I want that. And what happens when we learn, a lot of times we learn in this formal way where we're like, I love picado, like Evans' situation. If Evans would have gone to just a school that that's going to start them off with like basic classes on music theory, this and that, and all these other concepts, Evans most likely would have lost interest. You know, he wouldn't have been as interested. But the way that we teach here, we everything's tailored to you, right? I mean, obviously we're going to give you your baseline, but it's also what do you like? Because that's what's going to keep you engaged. Evans likes picado. You know, when he started, he got his picado up to 130 something beats per minute, all scales that we studied in one video in one take. You know, so that's just proof in the pudding. Let's switch gears just once. I know I got you on here for some time already, Evans, but I want to talk about something that I don't think I prepared you, but so
send it my way.
Yeah, there's a misconception that like here at CFG that we only like Paco. Why do you only study Paco? Why do you study just Paco? Like, you know, you guys bash everybody. Why you bash everybody else? Well, I'm gonna ask Evans to touch on this in a moment, but I'm gonna just kind of preface that by saying we study Paco method. We study the Paco method because his technique was unprecedented, it was unmatched, right? His dedication, it's flawless. That's not to say that no one else can have great technique or no one else can play fast and strong. You know, you can play however you want. There's always more than one way to do something. It's just we believe that learning from Paco will then allow you to go and branch off. We can play all types of different music, whatever we like. And so Evans is particularly special in the group because he really likes Vicente Amigo. And we don't have a problem with that. We like him too. You know, we just follow Paco. So Evans, if you can kind of talk about how studying Paco has helped you to explore the other forms of music that you like, or even just the other artists, right? Like, we're not music racists here. We have a goal, and, you know, we have structure. We can speak to that for a little bit, Evans.
I mean, yeah, it's exactly what you said. I mean, the CFG is focused on Paco de Lucia's work. And if you stop and think about it, I think there's pretty much not much doubt or challenge when you say Paco is the #1 guitarist. I mean, there's very little you can say about that. Paco is the legend, you know, is the legend. He transformed flamenco. I mean, you just watch a few videos of him and you immediately see like, damn, this guy is the one. So Paco is the legendary guy of flamenco. And Ruben, our maestro, studied closely with him. So he learned like step by step, like in detailed instructions, how Paco de Lucia was doing and applying his technique. Because in reality, if you're trying to learn anything, you know, in life, in relationship, in business, if you want to be great, you just model the ones who are great. You find someone that is great and you model exactly what he's doing. So we have this step-by-step process of the best, you know, in terms of technique. And this is why I chose to work with Maestro, you know, to study with him and follow this method. Now, obviously, music, and we in our groups, we always talk about this. I mean, music is free. At the end of the day, music is freedom. You're not limited to any guitarist. You can play whatever you want. But the good thing is the CFG and the Paco de Lucia method like you said, gives you the tools, and from there you are open and ready, you know, to just play literally anything. I mean, if you can master and play Paco de Lucia's song, what can't you play? You can play literally anything. So that opens everything. And yeah, like you said, CFG program is literally focused on is customer centric, is student centric. So if you want to learn a piece by Vicente Amigo or a piece by Tomatito, you can literally tell, you know, hey, I want to learn. Can you guys help me? I need help. I really love this piece. Can you help me with this piece? And there's absolutely no problem. Then just break it down, you know. Right. But as far as the technique, it's fundamental that you follow one person. And if you decide that you don't want to follow Paco de Lucia, although for me personally that would be weird, like Paco de Lucia is the best. Come on, why don't you want to learn from the best? But like people are free, right? So
Yeah.
if you want to learn from another guitarist, it's best that you stick to those techniques and those methods. And once you master that, then you can start and maybe see other things, because you will get confused. And at the end of the day, if you follow many people and on technique, you will get stuck and you'll go nowhere, because one guy says, okay, do the picado like this, the other guy say, no, that's the correct way is this. So it's literally impossible for you to progress. So for me, I think, okay, who's the best? Paco de Lucia is the best. Period. I'm gonna follow Paco de Lucia's technique, and that gives me the freedom today to then play many other songs. I like Flamenco, I like Vicente Amigo, I like Tomatito, many other guitarists, and I'm literally able to catch their songs. And if I have the mastering of the technique, I can play any
Yeah.
guitarist. So that's how it works.
Thank you for that, Evans. That's big, man. I feel like that's really important for people to hear, because, like I say, they just need to hear that Paco is that great basis, and from there we can just pivot into whichever direction that.
For sure, man, for sure.
All right, so kind of last question here. What if you were to have to just speak directly and frankly to someone who's thinking about becoming part of the CFG family, and or thinking about studying flamenco, whether they're a beginner, whether they're advanced, or whether they've never even played the guitar, what would you say to them, to encourage them to actually play flamenco, let's say?
So I would tell them exactly the same thing I would tell myself if I literally went back 10 years ago. This is what I would tell myself. I would literally tell Evans, or whoever's listening to me, don't try to do this yourself. I know you're smart, you're very smart, you got a great ear, you got like great music skills, but don't try to do this yourself. Don't waste your time. Your time is so valuable. And what you're doing, you can either choose, you can either get there within 3, 2, 3, 5 years, or you can get there in 1 year. So you have to make that decision. You have to think, you have to look it deep inside yourself. Okay, what do I want from flamenco? Where do I want to get? And how long do you want to get? And how many hours you want to put? Because this takes a lot of dedication. I mean, it depends. Of course, if you want to just, enjoy and be a beginner, it depends, right? But what I would say is don't do it yourselves. Really, if you're thinking about it, this is, in my opinion, the best program. Goes into details in terms of technique, in terms of repertoire, so many things. I would say, yeah, don't try to do it yourself. Book lessons, try it, see it for yourself, and the more lessons you can have, I mean, of course, we sometimes when there's money problems, you're looking, okay, I'm gonna do one lesson and then save. But if you really want to progress, this is an investment. That's how you look. You have to look into it. This is an investment in yourself, and the best investment you can make is in yourself. Okay, and it will come back in the future. So I would say, do as many lessons as you can in short. I mean, do a continuous program. Like you do one lesson today, check in, next week or in 2 weeks. That way you can, in 3 months, you can stop and look back, and you will see how you've progressed, and you will be like, wow, I was here and now I'm here. And that's literally the best feeling in the world. Instead of trying to do it yourself, and then it passes 6 months and you look back and you're in the same spot, and you cannot tell how did you haven't progressed. So if you're trying to learn guitar, that's, for me at least, I felt this many times, really many times. This is the worst feeling in the world. You're looking back, you've put so many hours, and when you really think about it, you're at the same place. So yeah, that's what I have to say, guys. Don't try do this yourself. Really, this is an investment in yourself. And Ruben Diaz, or CFG Studio, I think, brings this Paco de Lucia method, which is the most advanced, and that's, there's not much to say about that. I mean, it's the Paco de Lucia's job, work, and legacy. So
Yeah. Evans, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you dropping all this knowledge on us, and sharing with us your flamenco journey, man. It's very much appreciated. I hope that your message has inspired some people, and that, you know, somebody has learned even just one thing from this interview. Because, yeah, man, that was cool.
For sure, man. I appreciate you inviting me, and look forward, you know, continuing in this family and see us all grow, man.
Definitely. All right, Evans, take it easy, bro.